Starbucks is the third largest holding in my long-term dividend growth portfolio, and I currently own 7.09 shares. Since December 31st, the stock has been down over 20%. And right now, a lot of dividend growth investors that are invested in the stock for the long term are really curious and confused of why the stock is so down, especially since it's such a high-quality company. So in today's video, we're going to be going over Starbucks' recently quarter report and overall going over the business right now in its current state and my thoughts on its state in the future and what I'll personally be doing with it in the future. And guys, if you're new here, my name is Ryan. I'm 16 years old and I do dividend growth investing for the long term. I want to retire early. It would mean a lot. My goal is to get 150 subscribers by the end of the year, and we've been having a really good roll recently. So if you guys are new here, this is all real money that I show on the channel. I'll show my gains, losses, all that stuff. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and of course, roll the intro.
Hello, I like money.
To start off, we're going to be going over what Starbucks is. Starbucks is a global restaurant that sells beverages mainly and food items. I think it's really important to note that Starbucks is a really addicting, business that customers go to and have a really, loyal and cult-like following. This is, in my opinion, why it's such an appealing and great business to invest in for the long term. To start off, the stock was dropping previous to the quarterly report, so it's obviously not dropping because of the quarterly report, which is good. Starbucks has had to deal with a lot of short-term problems right now, mainly due to COVID and unions. But let's start off with something that's pretty unique to me, which is the unions. So if you guys didn't know, I'm from Buffalo, and they started the union here, which honestly, guys, it doesn't make sense to me because I think Starbucks is one of the best places, especially for new workers that come into. I think they, compared to other places, not to hate on McDonald's here, but it's much better than all these other restaurants. So I think it's honestly kind of stupid that these workers are so mad about their quote-unquote bad conditions. Starbucks obviously cares about their employees, and we knew this pre-union, which is, this just kind of baffles me. I think it's really stupid. I think it also is a really short-term problem, which is part of the reason that the stock is going down. Here's the reason it relates to me. I applied to work at Starbucks in November, but I didn't want to do it after, I did some mental reevaluation of myself. But I was going to go because they had the stock benefit, and of course, you know me, I'll do anything for free money. But, I decided not to go, and they actually texted me recently too. They wanted me to go to the stores that the unions were pushing because they were short on employees, and that's another reason. Labor shortages and COVID shortages. That is another reason the stock is going down right now. Again, these are all short-term reasons the stock is going down. To apply to that, worldwide supply chain shortages are another reason the stock is going down big right now. These are all legit short-term concerns, but I think that long-term investors shouldn't really be concerned about this right now and use it as a buying opportunity. And I think it's ironic and kind of silly that this stock has gone down right now because of how, short-term all these problems are. I think that people should be more long-term focused when investing in stocks, and I think that this is just a really cliche, perfect buying opportunity for long-term investors. Now, let's go over Starbucks' recently quarterly report to see what has changed with their business fundamentally and to see how they're doing right now. To start off, their revenue is up 19.28% year over year. Net income is up 31.13% year over year. Diluted EPS 30.19% up year over year. Net profit margin 9% up year over year, which is very good. Operating income 25.14%, very good. And here's the one bad thing. Net change in cash down 467%. This is because they're making so many new stores and making so many new investments in their business, which I think is really good for the long term. And I think, again, just a short-term problem. I think this net change in cash is just showing how committed they are to providing value to long-term investors. Another reason Starbucks has not been doing too good recently is because of its business in China. China does a lot of, work with Starbucks, and Starbucks has a ton of stores in China, and they're continuing to build a lot of stores in China too. So if you guys didn't know, every week and a half, China has a new shutdown because of COVID, and this has really negatively impacted Starbucks in the short term. So in this interview with Kevin Johnson, he goes over their business in China and its updated outlook.
About here, and people don't realize, is that China is basically shut. You have huge stores in the airports. I don't think people realize what zero COVID means. You can tell us.
Yeah, clearly every market around the world, governments are figuring out how they want to navigate this pandemic. And in China, they have a zero COVID policy. So if they have some number of citizens in a city that test positive for COVID, they shut down the entire city for a period and they test everyone so that they can identify, who has COVID, and they can then quarantine those people, and then they reopen the city. So there's constant waves of store closures and constraints created by that. But when you look at our stores in China, clearly international travel is really, really low right now. So our stores that are in airports and the international travel terminals are closed. And so that's weighing on comp. Stores that are in office districts are much slower than they used to be. But when you look at stores that are in residential or commercial zones, they are performing very well. They're comping positive. And more importantly, when we open a new store in China, it is performing at some of the highest in unit volumes and return on invested capital of any of the prior classes of stores we've built. So we're leaning in. We're building roughly 700 net new stores a year in China. They're performing extremely well. And at some point, as this pandemic subsides and we go back to more normal cadence of living, we're going to be well positioned in China, and there is a long runway of growth opportunity ahead for Starbucks.
In my opinion, I think COVID is not going to be an issue for much longer. I think people are going to learn that we're going to have to adapt with it, just like the flu, and it's going to be with us for a while. So I think that these are all short-term problems, and I think for a long-term value investor, like a lot of you guys watching right now are long-term investors, this is a perfect buying opportunity, and I'm not a financial advisor, of course, remember. So, of course, do your own due diligence and research this stock before you buy. But I think Starbucks, this is honestly this is the cliche perfect buying opportunity for a long-term investor, and I put my money where my mouth is. If you guys watched my last portfolio update, which was my last video, I'll leave a link to it in the description. You could see that I bought 2 shares of Starbucks, and if I had more money, I would buy more. That's how much I think this is just a perfect buying opportunity again, and that's why I'm pouncing on the opportunity to buy more, and I think it's a really good value right now. So guys, make sure to subscribe, turn post notifications on, because if anything else happens with Starbucks or any other dividend growth stocks that I invested into or that you guys want to see, I will definitely cover and make a stock update on it. I appreciate you guys watching a lot. Again, it would mean a lot if you can do it. Subscribe, turn post notifications, smash the like button. If you guys could and are interested, I have a Discord. There's no stupid course or whatever. It's all free. Meet new people on there. Good fun. Again, guys, lastly, of course, do not forget this one great rule. Do dividend stocks, not drugs, and have a good day.